but I would like to ask, have you ever felt sad or broken? Raise your hand if you have. Okay, I expected to see that amount of raised hands, since each person has been in this position. It's okay to be sad. After all, we're all humans and we all have emotions. But the question is, do you really want to feel sad? Does it feel nice? Will it benefit you somehow in your career, study, life in general? The answer is no. Trust me, being sad is not the best condition to be stuck in. So you may wonder what's in that box. At the end, when I review its containment, I hope you will understand how sadness may weaken a person. So the main questions of my presentation are what, why, and how. I call it the powerful triplet because in any kind of problem, we think about these questions. And as soon as we answer to them, this will be the key to your solution. So let's begin with what is sadness indeed. Sadness is first of all an emotion, not feeling. Myriads of people consider consider emotions and feelings as two same concepts. But feelings, they are shaped by personal experiences and depend on emotions. So emotional reactions, emotions, they are like coded in our genes and present in us, in all of us people, from the very beginning. So to make it more easy to understand, emotion is the trunk of the tree, whereas feelings are the leaves of the branches. So, sadness. We feel sad because of the unfulfilled expectations we have created in our life. It comes through perception of society and people living in it. As any other kind of emotion, sadness is triggered by something. And exactly sadness is triggered by some painful and upsetting moments in life. So there is always a reason to be sad. And actually, sadness is a temporary state. It will not last forever because you are the one who has to control it. Secondly, why people get affected by sadness. So the reason sadness attacks people is to challenge us. Sadness is a challenge where you have to show your strong side. For example, let's take a look at a well-known TV show on Disney, Lilo and Stitch. Can you show it? Next slide. Okay, so yeah, you may laugh right now and say that, come on, like Lilo and Stitch, that's childish. But trust me, the most powerful and wise characters are in Disney. So, on this show, next slide. On this show, one of the characters is Nanny. She's the elder sister of Lilo. She's quite underrated, but I hope you still remember her. So, Nanny was at that moment a 19-year-old girl. She was basically a teenager, and who had no other choice but take the full responsibility of her little sister on herself, because unfortunately their parents have passed away. So Nanny had a lot of moments in life where she felt sad and broken, because it's a quite hard job to do, to take care of a person who is much younger than you. But Nanny had a choice, whether to be sad or not. She could choose that path where she would cry in the bathroom, be miserable, and all this stuff. However, she decided to stay strong, positive, and keep making her sister happy. Remember, the problem gets bigger when you dig in it worse. Nanny didn't do that because she knew what consequences she would face. So basically, Nanny passed the life check. Lastly, the most thrilling question: how to overcome sadness. In any kind of problem, sadness is that question that triggers everyone, right? So, firstly, work on the belief system. Your belief system is your last hope. Don't work on your environment at the beginning, work on the belief system. because your belief system will follow you anywhere you go. So when we are sad and broken, our belief system is unstable, because in our mind we have such thoughts going around, like, what am I going to do next? Who am I? I'm not loved, I have no one to trust. So, due to the fact that our mind, messy mind, has such thoughts going, it starts coming up with untruthful facts about oneself, we start blindly believing them and accepting them. And that's the moment when you have to knock on the belief system's door and have a talk. Otherwise, you will fall into depression. Secondly, surround yourself with optimistic people. That's the main thing. Sadness, you have to remember that sadness is contagious. Your emotional state will change your encirclement. So contact people who will make you find joy, who live in possibility, who are purposeful, who will make you find a way from where you're stuck at the moment. But sometimes you can be affected by one thing. It's sad, it's loneliness. Life is rough at some aspects, and sometimes you will not find people first. No, sometimes people will not find you first. So that means that you have to do the first step. Looking at my personal experience, 2020 has turned out to be the year where I felt sad countless of times. And the reasons were quite obvious. Lack of motivation and lack of self-awareness. I didn't know what hobbies I should have at that moment. I didn't know what interests I should have, because all of my friends did have interests. So at that moment, I thought that I was nothing, and that was the worst feeling ever. So during quarantine, I've been preparing for my exams to the Westminster Lyceum. And as I officially became a student at this place, I can certainly say that my life has greatly changed. At this place, I met people who energize me with their ambition and creativity, who motivate me to work harder. That's not the end. Okay, so who motivate me to work harder? You see, I made the first step. No one invited me to Westminster first. So I dare you to do the same thing. Try yourself in something new. You can start it as an online format, like you can start chatting with people in the internet, and then gradually move to physical touch and start letting people into your space. Finally, the main point you have to execute is to realize. Yeah, you may say like, what you have to realize, that's quite not informative. But in such kind of problems, when a person has issues with his inner world, it fully depends on the person himself, how he will analyze and perceive his condition. So, and as soon as the person feels and finds that spot, that sadness is actually pointless, he will feel great. So what you have to realize, you have to understand that sadness will never provide you a brighter path. So here's the question, what's the point of being sad then? Why instead of being sad, you cannot set up a schedule, goals, and aim to its realization? Isn't that a better option? Just imagine, you forgot about the emotion sad, and you embrace yourself, you start doing things you've always planned to do, and you just develop. Remember, life is a game that can be played only once. So don't spend your time on something that will lead you to nothing. And at the end, as I promised, I will reveal what's in this box. So, this is an apple. It's not in its best look, right? It kind of lost its color. So, this apple is actually you being sad.